Good evening, good morning, whichever one you are watching this video right now. Okay, highly anticipated, well not anticipated, but most question I get asked about a lot is a arm workout. Got a lot of feedback on the diet video, which is great news. We'll continue to produce more of those as I go on, but first let's get into the more of an in-depth into how I train both my bicep and my tricep. I'm going to do this in like a two-part video. So for this first part, we're just going to go through the bicep only, focusing on the long head and the short head of the bicep, and maybe a bit into the brachialis. And then after that, we'll get into a more in-depth into the different points of the tricep and how I train that as well. So kicking off, first exercise I would like to do here in this new workout plan that I've designed myself is an easy bar curl, focusing on that that long head of the bicep. And the rep range I use to go for this is 2 sets of 15 on a 50% of your 1 rep max. And then as soon as you've done that, you go into 2 sets on 70% of your 1 rep max, and you go for 2 sets of 8. Again, focusing not just swinging the barbell in your first 2 sets, but really just controlling it on the way up, control it on the way down, on the negative. But on the 2 sets of 8 for your 70% of 1 rep max, you can set them a bit, so that means you can use a bit of your body's motion just to get that up that bit more, but don't swing your body way too much where the weight is like just way too much for you, because you don't want to do that, because you're not working at the bicep, you're really just swinging the weight up and down. That's why it's a 70%. Next exercise I like to go into is what I like to call Superman curls. But the way I like to do this is, what you'll see in the video, is literally position your elbow behind your body and literally curling up into your shoulders. So you're literally peaking both that long head and the short head of your bicep. But more focusing on the long head. The rep range I like to do for this is 4 sets of 12. Again, don't rush the movement, control it, and if you can, when you've reached the peak of the bicep on that full extension, just hold it there for about half a second and control it on the way back down. Again, 4 sets of 12 on this. Don't be sloppy with it. No throwing your body to help get the weight up. Next exercise I like to do here is just a standing barbell curl. I go for 3 sets of 20 on this. Again, when I'm coming up, so I'll go single arm, and when you come up on the one arm, literally lean over on a bit, and then put with that pinky finger, try and point it outwards, so you try and supinate the muscle as much as possible. Again, trying to hit the long head of that bicep right there, so you can peak that. That'll give you definition on your bicep. Again, 3 sets of 20 on that. Do not swing the weights. Again, you want to go for about 60 to 70% of your 1 rep max for these dumbbells. Again. And finally, the last exercise for your biceps and for this workout will be a preacher curl into hammer curls. Now, the way I like to do this is you go 3 rounds, so you'll go for 15 on the preacher curl. Again, do it on about a 50% of your 1 rep max. Where you grip the bar will determine which part of the bicep you're working. So if you're going wider, you're gonna hit the long head. If you go more closer, you're going to go a bit more interior, so you're going to go on the short head and work a bit more of that brachialis into it as well. Rep range on this, again, 15, and as soon as you've done the 15 on the preacher curl, I want you to jump straight off, grab up 2 dumbbells, just a light weight because you can't go heavy, and all you're doing is you're doing just 3 sets of hammers to failure, but that's after each set of a preacher curl. Again, with the hammers, you're focusing on that short end of the bicep, and depending on where you want to build your bicep as well, on the preacher, where you grip the bar. But me personally, I like to go about shoulder width apart, so I can try and get at least all of the bicep in. And that'll do it for the, well, part 1, if you will, of the bicep training for the arms. Stay tuned for part 2, which will be coming up next week, which will be triceps. And then after that, I've got another ab workout lined up if you want to know how I work out my abs as well. But until then, stay tuned, and I hope to see you for the tricep workout.